Shedeur Sanders dealt fresh Cleveland Browns challenge in battle for QB spot. The Cleveland Browns have signed quarterback Tyler Huntley, who will compete for the backup role behind Joe Flacco, following an injury concern for Shedeur Sanders. The Cleveland Browns have beefed up their quarterback lineup with a new addition. Heading into training camp, the Browns had Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, Dillon Gabriel, and Shedeur Sanders on their roster. However, a spate of health issues has thinned out their group of quarterbacks. On July 26th, Pickett was sidelined with a hamstring injury that has limited his participation in the following 3 practices. Sanders reported soreness in his right throwing arm during individual drills on Saturday. Gabriel also experienced hamstring tightness before Monday's practice session. With these injuries piling up, the Browns have brought in veteran quarterback Tyler "Snoop" Huntley. Meanwhile, Sanders has explained why he banned Dad Dion from the training camp. Huntley has played in 25 regular season games for the Baltimore Ravens and Miami Dolphins throughout his NFL tenure, holding a 5-9 record as a starting QB. Huntley was with the Ravens from 2020 to 2023, then had a brief stint with the Browns in the 2024 offseason. After being cut by Cleveland last August, the 2022 Pro Bowler rejoined Baltimore's practice squad. He was later picked up by the Miami Dolphins for their active roster after Tua Tagovailoa suffered another concussion. In 5 starts last season, Huntley completed 86 out of 133 passes for 829 yards, scoring 3 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. He also rushed 26 times, gaining 135 yards and crossing into the end zone twice. Browns head coach Kevin Stefanski provided an update on the team's rookie quarterbacks during a press conference on Monday. Dillon Gabriel's dealing with a little bit of tightness in his hamstring, so he'll be limited a bit, he informed reporters. And then Shedeur Sanders, he's good, was sore in his arm, his throwing shoulder, but getting treatment and he should be fine. Stefanski admitted that while it's not ideal to have quarterbacks sidelined, injuries are part and parcel of the NFL season. Hey, every day you learn something new, Stefanski said humorously. He emphasized that all players are working hard despite the setbacks, adding, "Injuries are a part of this game. They're frustrating from the standpoint of when you lose a guy for a good amount of time you feel. That's tough on the players. But the dealing with injuries, adjusting because injuries, that's just part of the game." Shedeur Sanders himself commented on the cause of his injury, attributing the soreness in his arm to the intermittent nature of practice, and noted that it's something he has experienced before. In college, it was often, he shared. It was just adjusting to starting and stopping. Honestly, that's all it truly is. Sometimes you're going hot, then you'll wait for a second, then you'll get cold, then get back hot, then get cold. And, my arm and body wasn't used to that, so it's just an adjustment like within the body, within my arm. Training camp was already tense for Shedeur Sanders. The expectations, the spotlight, the constant comparison to his legendary father, Dion Coach Prime Sanders. But just as he thought he was finding his rhythm, the Cleveland Browns dealt him a new obstacle, one that could redefine his entire rookie season. It wasn't just another day at camp. The morning air in Berea was heavy with anticipation. Rumors had swirled overnight that head coach Kevin Stefanski had made a bold decision. The quarterback rotation was being restructured. And at the heart of that shakeup? Shedeur Sanders. Until now, Shedeur had been splitting second-team reps with veteran Joe Flacco, showing flashes of brilliance mixed with moments of rookie hesitation. His arm strength was undeniable, and his timing with young receivers like David Bell and Cedric Tillman had been improving. But inconsistency in red zone reads and a nagging ankle tweak had made Stefanski cautious. Now, with Tyler Huntley, Lamar Jackson's former backup, freshly signed and impressing in practice, the Browns decided to elevate him to co-second team snaps. Shedeur would now split time with Huntley, not Flacco. A quiet message from the coaching staff. Earn it again. The reaction. Sanders didn't flinch publicly. When media asked him about the switch, he responded coolly. "Look, iron sharpens iron. I've never run from competition. I've trained my whole life for moments like this." But those close to the Browns' locker room saw a change. Less swagger. Fewer interviews. More time with the iPad. More late-night solo sessions in the indoor facility. "It hit him hard," said one Browns assistant. "He's got that name, that pedigree. But this is the NFL. Nobody cares who your daddy is when the bullets start flying." And now, with Huntley rising fast, Sanders had no choice but to rise faster. The day of the scrimmage. August 5th marked the Browns' annual open scrimmage at First Energy Stadium. A chance for fans to get a glimpse of the future, and for players to make statements. Shedeur knew the stakes. The crowd was massive, the pressure bigger. Cameras zoomed in on him as he warmed up on the sidelines. Wearing an all-white compression set under his brown practice jersey, he looked like a gladiator stepping into the arena. The scrimmage format was simple. Pickett would run with the ones, Flacco and Huntley would alternate with the twos, and Shedeur would lead the third-team unit. But Shedeur knew better. This was his test. A game within the game. The moment. His first series was rough. A botched snap. A short slant behind the receiver. An ugly sack. Boos trickled in. Not loud, but noticeable. Then something shifted. On his second drive, pinned at the 12-yard line, Shedeur called an audible, something he'd rarely done in camp. He recognized the defensive coverage, adjusted the route tree, and hit Tillman in stride for a 54-yard bomb. The stadium erupted. 2 plays later, he rolled right, evaded a diving linebacker, and found his tight end in the back of the end zone. He didn't celebrate. He didn't need to. The fire was back. Huntley's following series stalled at midfield. Shedeur had struck back. The Stefanski dilemma. Coach Stefanski and offensive coordinator Alex Van Pelt huddled after the scrimmage. The plan had been to gradually develop Shedeur, give him time behind veterans. But he was making that difficult. He processes quicker now, Van Pelt noted. That drive was all instinct and tape study. Still, Stefanski was cautious. One flash doesn't win a war. But behind closed doors, the tone was shifting. The staff saw a different Shedeur now. Less show, more substance. His work ethic was contagious. He'd taken the challenge not as punishment, but as motivation. Late night in the facility. That night, long after the lights at the stadium went out, Shedeur stayed behind. Security footage later showed him alone on the field, helmet off, just walking the yard lines. Deep in thought, he finally sat down at the 50-yard line, staring into the empty stands. A staffer passed by and heard him mutter to himself. "They think I'm just hype. Just Prime's kid. I'm gonna show him I'm more."